Imagine this. It's the dawn of the 20th century in West Africa. The British imperialists have captured the Asantewaa, or king of the Ashanti kingdom, and are demanding the Golden Stool, a sacred symbol of the Ashanti people's unity and spirit. Tensions are high, despair looms, but amid the chaos a voice rises. That voice belongs to Nana Yaa Asantewaa, an elderly woman, yet someone whose courage would ignite a fiery spark of resistance against colonial rule. But before we dive into this awe-inspiring tale, don't forget to subscribe to Storytime Africa, your channel for celebrating the incredible stories of African heroes, heroines, and legends that shaped our continent's history. Let's keep these stories alive for future generations. Nana Yaa Asantewaa, a name that echoes through centuries, is celebrated today as one of Africa's most iconic freedom fighters. Born around 1840 in Beseyase, a small town in what is now modern-day Ghana, Yaa Asantewaa grew up in the Ashanti Kingdom, a powerful and fiercely independent West African empire renowned for its rich culture, military strength, and untamed resistance to colonization. Like many girls of her time, she learned the traditions of her people. But Yaa Asantewaa was no ordinary woman. As the elder sister of the chief of Ejisu, a prominent Ashanti state, Yaa Asantewaa assumed the vital and respected role of Queen Mother. Now, in Ashanti culture, this wasn't a ceremonial title. The Queen Mother was the spiritual backbone of her community, a trusted advisor to the chief, a custodian of Ashanti traditions, and a direct link to their ancestors. This role gave her a unique position of authority and, more importantly, a voice in political decisions. But what made Yaa Asantewaa's leadership so remarkable wasn't just her position, it was how she wielded it. She was sharp-minded, fearless, and deeply connected to her people's struggles. And when the British came knocking, her mettle was tested in ways that would solidify her legacy forever. Let's rewind to 1896. The British, hungry to expand their empire and exploit Africa's resources, had targeted the Ashanti kingdom for years. This time, they overthrew the Ashanti royal hierarchy and exiled the Asantewaa, Prempeh to the Seychelles. And yet, their ultimate goal was something far deeper than kingship. They wanted control of the Golden Stool, an artifact so sacred that no Ashanti king would even sit on it. The Golden Stool wasn't just a throne, it was a symbol of divine authority, the embodiment of the Ashanti soul. To demand possession of it was a direct attack on the Ashanti identity. But the British underestimated the Ashanti will to resist, especially that of Yaa Asantewaa. In 1900, when British Governor Frederick Hodgson tried, once again, to assert his control by demanding the stool, the Ashanti chiefs were immobilized by indecision and fear. Yaa Asantewaa, however, would have none of it. In a council of chiefs, she famously rose and said,
"Now I see that some of you fear to fight for our king. If it were in the brave days of old, the men would not sit down seeing their king taken away without firing a shot. No European could have dared speak to an Ashanti chief the way the governor spoke to you chiefs this morning. If you, the men of Asante, will not go forward, then we will. We, the women, will."
This fiery declaration wasn't just words. It was a rallying cry. Inspired by her unwavering courage, the Ashanti united under her leadership, marking the beginning of the Anglo-Ashanti War of 1900, famously known as the War of the Golden Stool. Yaa Asantewaa didn't just unite the resistance, she led it with military strategy and brilliance. From April to September of 1900, the Ashanti forces laid siege to the British fort in Kumasi, cutting off their supplies and forcing them to endure hunger and desperation. It was a testament to her tactical genius and unyielding spirit. Despite being outgunned by the British forces, she inspired her people to fight for more than just independence. They were fighting to preserve their culture, their identity, their very spirit. But as with many battles for African liberation, the odds were stacked heavily against the Ashanti. After months of bitter fighting, British reinforcements arrived with superior weaponry, overpowering the Ashanti. Yaa Asantewaa was eventually captured, along with her close advisors, and exiled to the Seychelles alongside Asante Prempeh I. The fate of the Golden Stool, however, took an unexpectedly fascinating turn. While the British burned villages and looted treasures, they never found the stool itself. In a feat of defiance and ingenuity, the Ashanti elders had hidden it, ensuring its survival as a symbol of resilience. Later, it was unearthed and restored, remaining to this day a powerful emblem of Ashanti pride and unity. Yaa Asantewaa spent the rest of her life in exile, passing away in 1921. Yet her story didn't end there. Her defiance, leadership, and bravery became immortalized, inspiring not just her people but the entire African continent during the colonial struggle. She demonstrated that resistance wasn't solely the domain of soldiers or kings. Anyone, even an elderly queen mother, could become a revolutionary force. To truly appreciate Yaa Asantewaa's legacy, we must also appreciate the rich culture of the Ashanti people. Their elaborate kente cloths, spiritual ceremonies, and oral traditions are not merely cultural artifacts. They are expressions of resilience, creativity, and profound wisdom. The Ashanti Empire, at its height, was a testament to African ingenuity and governance, with its sophisticated political systems and confederations. This culture, which Yaa Asantewaa gave everything to protect, thrives today, reminding us of the value of preserving our identity. As heroic as her story is, it also mirrors the broader colonial tragedy: the loss of sovereignty, the looting of heritage, and the displacement of leaders and communities. The British were motivated not only by greed, but by a deep-seated belief in their racial superiority, insisting that their domination was a civilizing mission. Yet stories like Yaa Asantewaa's reveal the hollowness of such claims. The Ashanti, with their advanced systems of governance and rich culture, needed no civilizing. They only needed freedom. And so, Yaa Asantewaa's life leaves us with a moral lesson. Resistance is never futile. Even when you stand against insurmountable odds, the courage to fight for what is right can transform history. Her legacy reminds us to cherish and defend our culture, to speak out against injustice, and to strive for unity in the face of adversity. Thank you for watching and celebrating this extraordinary woman's story with us. Let us know in the comments what you thought about Yaa Asantewaa's bravery, or if there are other African legends you'd like us to explore on Storytime Africa. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story to keep the voices of our ancestors alive. Together, let's honor and preserve the heritage that makes us who we are. Until next time, let's keep telling the stories that matter. Stories of resilience, stories of courage, stories of Africa.